I don't want to go to no one else. So I'm like, we have to meet in the middle. So I'm like, let's do a medium size.
Right. See, you see how she going back to it? That's exactly how she did me when I kept telling her, I don't do them, Diane. But yeah, I tell you, your parts are on point. Mm-hmm. You're very meticulous about your work. So I know you can do this. And I'm like, in my mind, I don't do it enough to feel proficient at it. But yeah, you can still do it. So when we gonna do it?
Yup, and now locks.
Right.
Which is your
so okay, yeah.
Which I feel like your specialty is so cutting and locks so far. Of course you do everything else.
Right.
From what I see and being one of those clients, most of your clients are here for the cutting. Even me, I get the back of my neck tapered to look all fresh
nice and clean. Yeah.
Clean. So,
and that's the advantage of having a barber,
mm-hmm.
Stylist that can do those things with the appropriate credentials. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah.
There's appropriate credentials because I received my license for other reasons. But nonetheless, I always had a braider's license. Once one of my mentors like, well, if you read the book, then you'll know why I got into that. But nonetheless, that's a whole nother story. We won't talk about that. About it.
But I just wanted to point out that you really have touched right here at every stage. And thank you so much for reminding me about all the information in that book. I have to get it because I remember reading it because you gave it to me to read.
This was way before she even thought of considered locks.
Yeah, I'm curious.
She was just curious about it. So I whipped out the book because I keep that book, and Locked and Loaded at the barbershop as well.
Yeah.
So it's like one of many reference books that I have available, but more specifically because I do have a lot of clients who wear their hair locked. I do keep that on hand, and I do have quite a few people coming in and asking about starting locks. What does it take? What should I do? How should I go about doing it? Those things. So I use Nakina's book definitely as a reference because I think it's very informative. It's very it's great. It's a great resource, and because she talks about the misconceptions and provides you with the facts, that's what you need. Yeah, we got YouTube, we got Pinterest, we got all these other Google, Bing, and all these other places. But it's nothing like having someone who's been in it for years, who's doing it, who's been across all facets of it. Plus, she is the one who started lock jewelry.
Oh, that's cool.
Beautiful lock jewelry. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, I know she was one of many, but when I think of lock jewelry, I think of her initiating it.
That's cool.
But yes, she talks about a lot of misconceptions. As a matter of fact, before we close out, I'm gonna run down the misconceptions that she has here. And like I mentioned before, there's 10. And the first one is, let me first look at this to make sure.
And as you find it, I just want to say one last thing. So when you complete that, you can end the conversation. But at 6 months, I do feel like it's more of it's starting to feel more spiritual. It's starting to feel more of I don't know, like definitely a challenge of mindset, of growth mindset, because now we're getting to the stage of like, okay, like I'm noticing different strands look different. And before, in my, I'll say loose curl journey, like my different curl textures bothered me. I'm like, no, I want them to be all unified and all this other stuff. But with my lock journey, I'm noticing a shift of mindset of like, no, they're all going to look different. One might be longer than the other right now, and one might be shorter, but I'm loving that. And also having the patience to wait. Like, like it's gonna take you, especially me, it's probably gonna take a good year, maybe a couple of months to really know
that you locked in.
Yeah, that I'm locked in. So like so it's definitely been that like this beautiful journey, and hearing some of what Kina said in the book, of like the fact that the method we used was two strand and bringing two strands into one ultimately. Yeah, I love that, because I feel like that's also what I'm always trying to do. I'm always trying to balance, like walk the middle path and think of the light and dark, or good and bad, and always merging those energies. So for that path of my locks to start that way, and that's what is naturally becoming, I think that's beautiful.
Oh, well, thank you for sharing that.
Course.
So I looked at the table of contents, and based on how she outlined it, I'm going to actually have to go through each one, but I'm going to do that and then end the conversation. So I was going through dog earring, for those of you who read books, dog earring the pages so that I can get to them quickly. So the first misconception reads, most people who wear locks are wearing them as a fad. Fact, most people who wear locks are committed to the hairstyle. So the second misconception, it does not matter if you refer to your hair as dreadlocks or African locks. I start this, unsure why I did it initially, but nonetheless it says it does matter how you name yourself. Naming creates identity. So it's like when your parents name you. Oftentimes parents have a reason for naming their child. Some wait till they see the child, and based on the feeling or the energy or just that whole vibe they get, they name the child. Some have a name picked out beforehand, but this is what she said about it. Naming creates identity. And it goes back to the power of the spoken word.
Amen.
So I'm going to leave it at that, because there's plenty of debate out there about this, that, and other. I like to say locks. I do respect those who utilize the term dread. I was at one point in the mind frame of dreadlocks, thinking of it as dreadful. But honestly, it depends on how the person says it. That gives me that feeling. If their intentions behind what they're saying is negative or positive, then it may strike a chord with me. If you get where I'm going with that.
And I'm curious for myself, for me, because I normally say lock out of respect to the broader community, because because of that misconception of who might feel what. But I'm curious to know, as I go through my own journey, which one I'll feel comfortable being called or naming myself. Because when I think of dreadlock, for instance, for me, I don't think of anything negative. I really think of like a rebel, of like somebody not to play with, like wild, like untamed, and I love that idea of it. So
I never thought of it like that.
Yeah, because
I never thought of it that way.
Because from my understanding, the reason why they was calling it dreadful is because, or at least the colonizers, right? Whoever was those people calling it dreadful is because they wanted it to be negative, but those people who were dreaded was whooping it behind.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
I got you.
To me, I'm like,
okay, this all right.
This how it's gonna be.
right. There's power in them dreads. Right.
They're getting through what they need to get. So
wow.
Me, it's not negative at all.
When you said that, I think about Samson and cutting his hair. The story in the Bible about Samson and how he lost his strength when his locks were cut.
This is what I'm trying to say.
So that was misconception number 2.
Okay.
Misconception number 3 says locks and dreadlocks are the same. Dreadlocks relate facts. Dreadlocks relate specifically to Rastafarianism. Locks are of African origin and are global. Misconception number 3. That was the fact. Misconception number 4, if you must be Rastafarian, Jamaican, or from the islands if you wear locks. Fact, most people who wear locks are of African ancestry. We already said that, because I was talking about something within this chapter that I came across when I was reading through it. I read it all the time because I want to be familiar with the content within, and also have it within here, because I service individual with locks. I want to be able to share fluently and without hesitation the misconceptions and facts based on what I've researched and what I know via my point of reference, and also what I've researched and am learning on my own. So yeah, as I mentioned before, I have a lot of respect for Nikina Evans and what she's done and how she's gone about doing it over the years. So misconception number 5, it says hair is dead matter, a waste product that serves no significant purpose. That's a misconception. Fact, hair is alive and part of our whole being. So if it was dead, I'm just thinking, how does dead things grow? Well, they grow mold, but seriously, no. Let's be serious. Does dead things grow? So if our hair is if our hair is dead, then how is it growing?
And I feel like I always my hair has grown.
I'm just asking
over the years, quickly, but my hair has grown the fastest ever.
And I think when we don't manipulate our hair as much, manipulate, playing in it, styling it, you got your fingers in it every time you turn around. In other words, just letting it be versus being in it. It does, because we're allowing it to be and do, alongside of keeping a clean scalp.
Amen.
That's the key to healthy hair, is keeping a clean scalp. And of course your hair strands, but the key to healthy hair is a clean scalp. All right, so that's misconception number 5. Misconception number 5 is in the facts of 5. Misconception number 6, you can grow locks fast. We just read over this. Locks take 6 to 12 months to mature, and it could potentially take longer depending on the hair density, its texture, and so on and so forth. It could be some other things involved in that as well. That is part of the health. So you're eating what you put into your body, and also what you apply to your head. So it's a lot of things surrounding how fast or how slow your hair grows. Okay, misconception number 7. All you need to do to grow locks is not comb your hair. Fact, growing locks requires some work on your part. So it's not just not combing it.
AKA get you
it'll lock up.
Barber stylist do it for you.
Oh, thank
That's
you.
what I do.
I appreciate that. Okay, misconception number 8. Coiled hair, black people's hair type, has limited growth potential. We all know. Some people think that. But we know that's false. But anyway, fact, locked hair challenges the accepted belief that hair growth stops after a certain point. And you can see it. We're talking about locks here. But you can see locks, individuals who have locks that have them past their butt to their calves, or hanging longer than that, where they have to wrap it, especially if they cover it. And it's long.
And that takes commitment.
It takes commitment. Yeah.
Seeing my hair grow now in locked form, whenever you retwist it, I realize how long my hair is, but of course with the process, it of course shrinks up. So I always think about when it gets more mature and it starts getting longer, that means even when it gets here, it's really longer, it's shrinking up.
Right.
So the people that have it all the way here, it's probably still shrinkage there.
Right,
so
right.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But our hair does grow.
Yeah.
It does get long. And it can be as long as I guess you would like it to be.
Yeah.
Without cutting.
Yeah.
I love our hair. It's magic. It's bad. Beautiful, authentic, and divine.
I love that.
All right. Misconception number 9. Locked hair is not versatile. This is a huge misconception. Locked hair is quite versatile and uniquely individual. Locked hair is as individual as the person and as versatile as it can be. Now, I will say this, and I'm going to talk about it in something that I'm putting together, but I'm going to relate it more to styling so many of you can get a visual. So the bigger the locks, the less versatility you have in terms of styling and volume. Whereas the smaller the locks, the more versatility in styling you have as a style option than you do if they were larger. A vivid example. We're going to say sister locks, micro locks, which sister locks is also trademarked, and it is a type of locks. Many who aren't trained, and I'm just throwing this in here so people will know, many who aren't certified and trained to do sister locks tend to do micro locks, which is similar, but it's a little bit bigger than sister locks. Look it up. So you got sister locks, which are micro locks, which are considered like small. You have more volume. You have a lot more versatility in styling. I'll say styling options. Where if you look at wigs or free-form locks, and oftentimes free-form locks are large in size like wigs, and they may not be, but I use them on the far end for larger, extra large per se, is because they're big. Where when you think about wigs, you think about free-form locks, they're larger in size, more than likely. There's not a lot of volume, so there's only so much you can do with them when you think about styling. So think about somebody that has barrels or some kind of petal design in their locks. So hopefully you get the visual there. All right. Okay. So locked hair is quite versatile and uniquely individual. It is versatile and it is individual. Now people are putting braids on top of extension hair on top of locks. So there you go. And finally, number 10, and we're going to close it out. It says locks or dreadlocks are dirty, unsanitary because the hair is not washed, i.e. shampoo. You wash hair, you shampoo clothes. That's something my mom used to say all the time, which is true. You shampoo hair, you wash clothes. Anyway, fact, virtually everyone who has locks wash their hair regularly. So some regular schedule may be once a week, every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, every 4 weeks, every couple of days. Depends on their lifestyle, their activity, their hair care regimen. The misconception is that it's dirty. To me, that comes from lack of understanding, and some people's hair is dirty. They just haven't shampooed it. But that's not the end all be all for everybody, because at some point, I'm sure they do shampoo their hair. Well, at least I hope they would. Because if you don't, then there comes all kind of scalp issues, the smell, that's to say the least. So that's a big misconception. It's a big misconception. And oftentimes it's where I find the question being asked of me, and I can only go by what's being asked of me, is oftentimes other nationalities who have that perception or misconception about the hair being dirty and unsanitary. But it can be shampooed. It can be cared for. It can be cleaned. It can be maintained. So whether it's short, long, or somewhere in between, it just may take a little bit more time to do it if the locks are longer. But it can be done. It can be done. The fact is, virtually everyone who has locks wash their hair regularly at some point. I'm just going to say that. Because I don't know what regular is for that individual. All right?
And I love first saying this is the cleanest my hair has been because of the less maintenance and products. So when my hair was loose,
Whoa.
I use a lot of gel.
Okay.
You know, like
you own something now.
Yeah, and because I remember, and plus, especially now that it's summertime, when my hair was loose, especially prior to meeting you, and I had to do it at home. God help me during that time, because COVID happened, so I had to figure it out. I'll wash my hair. I'll say weekly, but every week I was like, what in the world? Because you're gelling it down. You're putting creams. It's all these things, and now literally.
Wow.
When we wash my hair, it's like we just wash it to wash it because it's part of the retwist process. Of course, we have to wash it, but
to ensure that there's no buildup, that that it is clean, because clean scalp equals healthy hair.
Right.
And it's facilitating the process of maintaining a regimen and keeping her hair as healthy as possible.
Yeah. But now I don't use no gel. I don't use no I made say the mist. You know how you told me that I could use sheen sometimes.
Like a light or oil sheen. Yeah.
And to be honest, I really don't even be doing that most of the time.
Even an oil. Some oil your scalp.
And that's the oil is about as much as it gets in my hair because I probably don't do it as often as I should, but every few days or so I ask Kevin to do it for me, and he just does. So I have some oil in my hair, and I'll mist my hair a little bit, and that's it. So by the time you do my hair, it hasn't had all this product in it.
Wow, that's a light bulb moment for me as a stylist, considering other hairstyles versus lock styles, and many locticians tell their clients less is more. You don't need a lot of stuff for your locks, because one, they're dense. You ought to putting on all of the, especially creamy, heavy products, cause buildup. That stuff gets enlarged, and if you aren't shampooing your hair in between getting your locks retwisted in, think of it like this: it's building up, because you're just adding product on top of product on top of product, and locks are dense. So yeah. Wow. Yeah,
and plus even with me, because you washed my hair when it was loose versus when we styled it, and I'm pretty sure you can tell
right
the difference.
Yeah. It's lightweight, which I know her locks are going to become more dense, but because of her texture, it's still somewhat, light and I don't like to say fluffy, but it's really soft. Yeah. So
and plus with this style, I'm embracing less is more. I love that. I'm
Mies van der Rohe, less is more.
Yeah, so I'm really embracing that, and not I'm so happy you don't have to buy these products. I just get my oil.
You just get you some water, some oil, and that's it. That's it. Yeah. But I want us to get to a place where she's able to, especially when you become more active in your gym and you're working out and stuff, to shampoo her hair.
Yeah.
With that being said, I do recommend to those who are active, and I do it sometimes if I don't want to actually shampoo my hair, but like I did mine a couple days ago. I normally shampoo and condition my hair like every 3, 4, maybe 5 days. The longest I go is about 7 to 10 days. That's because of my activity and things of that nature, that I have to keep my scalp clean. But our hair, once again, loves water. So, hey, contrary to popular belief, you might not like the shrinkage, because we always want our hair to have that long appearance, but our hair is magic. It's bad. But I want to thank those of you who are tuning in, who are following this lock journey process. Once again, this is my client, Diana.
Yes.
We've been rocking over a year now. She's 6 months, 1 week, and 4 days into her lock journey, 25 weeks and 4 days. And I am her stylist. I've been her stylist for over a year, like I said. And I'm really excited about us continuing this journey, expressing what we're experienced both as a newly lock person entering in the community, and me as a barber stylist going along this journey with her. And I've learned some things as well and have been enlightened by some things, and we've shared those things throughout this journey. If you have not seen the previous videos, please do take a look at them, because we're actually doing this live, nothing prepped. So everything that you're hearing, besides the few notes that I've taken, and that's to ensure that I get the time right and discuss the journey. We've already talked about the frizziness and the growth, her comfortability with the process. We already know she's trusting the process, and it causes her to reflect on what it means to her. And now, you know, she said earlier, it's become more spiritual for her. And that's big, because we want to become one with ourselves and know who we are, so that we're able to stand on that and not be moved by the things that are going on around us, because that's where the confidence, the belief, and all of those things come in when we have those days and those moments that we don't feel our best. You know. But that's it. That's all we have. Thank you to those of you who have joined. For our replay viewers, hopefully it hasn't been too long for you. If you're catching this on the replay, thank you for taking time out of your day to replay this broadcast. We will be back with more, so continue to follow us along this journey. We greatly appreciate y'all time. Until next time, don't forget to embrace your natural hair and celebrate your real roots with Real Roots Love. I did it backwards. Real Roots Love, because I saw that last time. Real Roots Love and Real Roots Pride. I'm Yate, and this is Diana. So we'll catch y'all next time.